San Francisco. I know, I live there, on the tower. Seagulls, pigeons, but I like it. Yeah, we dig it the most. On the tower, I can see everything. Once in a while, I spy. I see the shoes. They think they're the toughest, but not the bosses. But I don't blame them. Nothing to do. Ooh-wee. If I had something like that on my corner, I'd shimmy, shimmy, cocoa too. The mo, you can always tell, flat feet. Ace on every corner. Don't look too hard, fellas. They got guns. You got 1,000 fellas. The king. Pin this tough sheen. It's the bosses. Because it's borrowed from some honor at night. You can always tell that's the lonely ones. Betcha. Some parts of mission. You can always tell. 1,000 on every corner. Hair was a crime. They'd be right on deck with chessmen. Look out, old man. Look out, old man. Mike is on the scene. Head first. Light up, fellas. Didn't cost me anything. 5 fingers and a quick getaway. Some store suffers. Beat your boogie. Yeah. Everybody's on the scene.
Stanley Mosk, Attorney General of the State of California. There is no one cause for juvenile delinquency, and therefore there is no one cure for juvenile delinquency. The elements that go to make up a fine young person in our society are generally threefold. First, loving parents. Secondly, intelligent teachers. And thirdly, a wholesome environment in which to grow up. But all too many of our young people today lack 1, 2, or even all 3 of these elements. And therefore, we have what we call juvenile delinquency. The community then has an obligation to provide those missing elements. When I speak of the community, I mean society generally, officially, and also private organizations which work in this field. Any private organization that gives to youngsters the opportunity to do something useful and constructive gives them a chance then of belonging, of participating, of winning the approval and approbation of their elders and of their contemporaries. Any such organization in our society today is doing a most useful and constructive thing, both for the young people and for the community in which they live.
Hello? Yeah. Hey, man, what time is it? 12 o'clock. What you phone was early for? No, there's nothing doing today. Well, look, man, why don't you meet me down Hunts about 5 o'clock? Okay. Bye.
Hey, mama, on the TV, come and love me, daddy, all night long, all night long. Hey, hey, all right. See the girl with the diamond ring? She knows how to take that thing all night long. Hey, 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 hey.
Back to the old plantation. Shucking and jiving. Ain't that sweet? We'll show you how it's done. Always. Ain't that cold? We'll give you a little sample. He looked like Elvis before he went to service. Those are a couple of my good friends. They're squares. Looks like the fight of Patterson and Ingemar, but it's not. A left to the right, a left to the jaw, a right to the chin, a feet to the chest, a knife in his back, brass knuckle on his head. Someone is on the ground, someone is on the ground. I think it's the referee. No, it's not. It's an officer. Don't get panicked, ladies, don't get panicked, ladies. Nothing will happen. It's only in fun. Look out, keep it clean with Phenagene. No feets. What? No job? Well, don't worry. I know what they'll tell you. You're too young. You're inexperienced. You're not in the union. We can't bond you. You've been in trouble. You're not a graduate. We can't use you. But don't worry. Don't worry. Old lady will lose her Christmas money. Purse will be snatched. Some old man will be knocked down. And everybody will wonder why.
So like people, but if they don't see you fight, it's hearsay. That's what they believe it because you're in a club and you wearing a club jacket. That's what you're a thug right away to the public then. You know, but it's some people that realize that that by being in a club, but it can be a good thing and a club can be a bad thing. Yeah, but you have to start off with the right thing to end up right.
When Carl May started Youth for Service, he realized he could work through the leaders of the jacket clubs.
At first, I went out and looked up these boys on the street. This is John Bird, president of the Warlords, a very important club in San Francisco. I just put it up to them, would they help? I told them we needed them, and it worked because it was the truth.
Hello, gentlemen. I'm Carl May. I'm with the organization. You ever heard of Youth for Service? You know, this is the organization with all the clubs in it, you know, the Warlords and the Sheiks and the Turbans and the Timers and the Aces and the Ravens.
Oh, is this the council that has all the clubs all together?
Yeah, that's it. We'd like to have you guys in. And one of the reasons that we started the council and started Youth for Service is to help out people, old people, sick people, handicapped people. Go in there and do painting jobs for them or carpenter work and clean up their places when they need help. And we've got a family now that needs some help, and we want to go there next week, next Saturday. So what do you say?
Yeah, what are we doing next Saturday? You guys want to go?
Will you guys go?
I ain't got nothing else to do. I don't know.
Huh?
Where's it at?
Oh, it's over on Potrero Hill.
How are you going to get over there? How are we going to get over there?
Well, I'll tell you, we'll pick you up in the morning.
This is a Youth for Service work project. These boys are working for nothing, doing something for somebody else who needs help. Why are they doing it?
The answer is that these boys are no different than the rest of us. They need to be needed. They may have had less chance than most of us to relate constructively to the community. They need the opportunity to work for status and recognition. In Youth for Service, we take them as they come. We do not judge them for anything they may have done or failed to do in the past. We do not excommunicate them if they fail to live up to our standards of work or conduct. What we do is accept them as individuals and put them to work. We ask them for help, and who can resist that?
Another project built a new parking area for a community center. Youth for Service is not a training program for future employment, but it does give the opportunity to learn something of new skills. Work projects are referred from many sources, chiefly from social agencies. The Departments of Public Health and Public Welfare, the Visiting Nurses Association, the Family Service Society, and others. The entire Youth for Service program has been made possible through generous help from church groups, businessmen, school and civic authorities, and private as well as public agencies. The boys of Youth for Service have helped many elderly and handicapped people with home chores and repairs they cannot manage themselves.
When this project started, I figured that if what I believed is true, then people who have known bitterness and despair and frustration will have every bit as much human understanding as the most enlightened people, the supposedly enlightened people that there were around.
Here I stand, all alone in my heart today, all alone in the neighborhood.
Many Spanish-speaking people live here in Alviso, near San Jose. A Youth for Service project helped finish a classroom in the church to be used for English classes.
Sure, the boys mess up on a lot of things when they're on their own, but they get something done, and what they do is their achievement. They can learn from it and be proud of it. Adult control or adult guidance really means the imposition of authority, and that would kill the whole idea. The boys know that this is their program and that it's in their hands, not ours. They respond to that.
You know, you can ask a person to do something and you'll see a difference in the work. Because if you ask me to do it, I'll do a better job. I'll do anything if somebody asks me. But if you say do this, do that, if you don't do it, well, you better do it, well, I just won't do it. And I want to see what somebody's going to do if I don't do it.
The boys of Youth for Service give of their strength and time and skill, and the community gives too, and both get back more than they give, a sense of sharing. And the boys get something they greatly need, tangible evidence of community confidence in them, expressed in terms of good materials and efficient and valuable equipment. And a good lunch on the job is a pretty well understood form of moral support also. The word is recognition. The boys of Youth for Service work hard without pay. Most of them have very little themselves, yet they volunteer repeatedly to help other people in need. Recognition and community support become very important to maintain morale. A little publicity for work well done is small payment by the community for services generously given. A party was organized to celebrate the first 100 work projects completed. In spite of some initial opposition concerning law and order, the party did go off quite smoothly after all, enjoyed by several hundred Youth for Service participants and their dates. Only one slight mishap was reported. A policeman somehow lost his badge.
A council of youth clubs from all parts of the city, developed directly from the contacts made on work projects. The boys themselves decided they wanted a common meeting ground where they could adjust differences between the clubs before they blew up into rumbles. They also wanted to promote social affairs and special projects on a citywide basis. Both prestige and security were involved in belonging to the organization.
One of the first council projects developed in support of the National Youth March for Integrated Schools held in Washington, D.C. in April 1959. The boys in Youth for Service know that integration is not just the struggle of American Negroes for equality, but it's linked with the fight against discrimination of all newly arrived minority groups. 100 years ago, the Irish made up less than 1/3 of the population of New York, but they were charged with over 2/3 of the arrests. There were newcomers then. Today, the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Pacific and Oriental peoples are the newcomers. The Youth for Service Council raised the money to send a delegate to Washington, the only one sent by a San Francisco youth organization, and he carried petitions gathered by many other groups as well, with over 6,000 signatures. And still in America, some people are treated like newcomers in their own native country. We call them Indians. This is the Laytonville Rancheria of the Pomo Indian tribe in the Redwood Forests, 100 miles north of San Francisco. One of the largest Youth for Service projects was the building of a bridge across a river bed on this reservation to give the Indians access to a large section of their land previously cut off during the rainy season.
A lot of people get confused about this Youth for Service thing. They tend to lump people into categories or groups. There are people who think of Youth for Service as a youth-serving agency, purely in terms of juvenile delinquency prevention. Well, if it works that way, that's fine. But that's not our primary focus. That's not what we're here for. Accepting individuals, that's what makes the whole thing meaningful. When it comes right down to it, we have no political axe to grind, no religious axe to grind, no social axe, or anything except that we are trying to reconcile differences between people. And that's what this whole project is about. Reconciling differences, as well as doing something useful.
My song, oh my song, oh, 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 oh.
We have a choice in dealing with these boys of continuing the old community policy of suspicion, surveillance, rejection, and with the usual results. Or we can take a new look at them and our own attitudes and start to assume our just obligation as citizens in helping them achieve recognition and responsibility in the community. Youth for Service offers one way to work toward this end. Well, the bridge is built. Youth for Service. Nobody, least of all the friends, thinks this program is a cure-all for anything. If it does mean something, it'll be what the boys make it mean, with our help.